Hello everyone, I am the Traveling Sports Nerd, and today I am going to a Detroit Pistons game. Yes, there are 12 metro areas in the United States that have all four of the NBA, NHL, MLB, and NFL. Today, Detroit is going to become the first one to have all four of their teams have a home game appearance on my channel. Not surprising that it's my hometown metro area that's having that accomplishment achieved today, but nonetheless something to celebrate and something to be really excited about. I have been to a few Pistons games at LCA before. Little Caesars Arena is what that's short for. Already got the Red Wings game up here on the vlog, and now we're seeing some Pistons basketball today. Really excited to see it. I haven't been to a Pistons game here in a few years. The Pistons have had a rough go of it recently, at least over the past 2-3 seasons. But now this season, they're doing a lot better, and it's really exciting to see. Looks like they're probably going to make the playoffs this year. So a really exciting turnaround for the Detroit Pistons, and excited to see it in person today, and hopefully the Pistons pick up a win today. I'm going to get heading into the arena. I will catch up with you in a little bit.
Respect is earned, but only when the hype is real. Our team, our fans, in this city, Detroit.
We all know that nobody,
No single person is going to raise our game alone, but the work will.
Basketball fans from around the great state of Michigan, those of you listening from around the Indiana, good afternoon and welcome to the 313 Little Caesars Arena, where this afternoon, on the big stage, under the bright lights, they've come to play NBA basketball. It's the visiting Charlotte Hornets and your Detroit Pistons.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
Our Piston fans, clap your hands, stomp your feet. Once again, time to meet and greet the boss from the Detroit Pistons. Working that run top Piston team from over the title league. It's the 669, a song. Simpson. Out of Tennessee, always fun to see. Detroit 12, game time 6-9. Took boys. Numero 0, Shanna, one-time Tiger out of Memphis. At 6'10", working both rims, the dog, J.D. Jalen Duran. That guy out of Michigan. 6'8", the poppin' and number 8, PhD. And all the way, Junior. And the Detroit comes to you at the
Hello everyone, I am back here in Metro Detroit. The Detroit Pistons defeat the Charlotte Hornets. I had a really fun time at Little Caesars Arena. I absolutely love Little Caesars Arena. I think that it is a phenomenal venue. This was a day game. The Super Bowl was later that night, so we ended up having a 1 p.m. tip-off. Daylight throughout the day, or considering it's February in Detroit, it was more like gray light throughout the day, but you still had some natural lighting coming through onto the concourse, which is just really nice. It's a really nice touch to the arena. Lots of history paying homage to the great Detroit Pistons of the past. You've got a really cool place up on the upper concourse where you've got both Pistons and Red Wings memorabilia and just quotes and information. It feels like a little mini museum on the Pistons and the Red Wings, so really enjoyed that. Let's talk about it. This place was built originally for the Red Wings, and the Pistons only joined on to this project about a year before LCA was scheduled to open. And even about 8 years on from its opening, you can kind of still feel that vibe. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of Pistons stuff around, and I think that they do a good job with what they have, especially like the lighting on the concourse, how you got the red and the blue lights. That's really cool. But you know, there is a bit more Red Wings stuff than there is Pistons stuff. And if you're primarily a Pistons fan, that's probably a little bit annoying, and it's a tough situation because personally, I loved the Palace of Auburn Hills. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I thought it was such a cool arena. When I was a little kid, you know, I've always been a hockey fan first. So I went to Joe Louis Arena a lot more times as a kid before I ever went to the Palace. My first time at the Palace as a kid, I was like, oh my God, this arena is so huge. And it just feels so much bigger. And it's so like, to me, it was like the pinnacle of arenas as a kid. Of course, only really going to arenas in Metro Detroit, but just such an amazing place to watch a game. And this is the knock on a multi-purpose venue, right? The Palace absolutely felt like the Pistons' home first and nobody else's. So on one hand, I would not blame a diehard Pistons fan for absolutely preferring the Palace over Little Caesars Arena, just on that alone. On the other hand, even as a kid and now as an adult, you look back on it, or you sit there and you think, they're the Detroit Pistons. Why are they playing in Auburn Hills, a city about a 45 minute drive from downtown Detroit? Like, that, it just didn't make sense. I mean, I respect that some teams do play out in the suburbs. I mean, there are some vlogs on this channel of teams that play out in the suburbs. But to me, that makes more sense as far as the big leagues go for maybe the NFL. Maybe the NFL, I get it. I understand with trying to have good land usage. Maybe you don't want to build a giant football stadium in the middle of downtown that only gets used, let's say, amongst all events, 15, maybe 20 times a year. I can respect that. But baseball stadiums and basketball/hockey arenas get used often enough that at the major league level, these places should be in your central business district, in my opinion. They should not be a 40-minute drive away in the suburbs. As cool as the Palace was, and I loved the Palace, that was the big knock on the Palace. And that's what Little Caesars Arena gets right here. The Detroit Pistons now not only play in Detroit, they play in the heart of downtown. They play in a sports district that has 3 sports venues containing all 4 teams located within like a 10-minute walk of each other. And the only reason that it's not like a 4-minute walk is that you have to cross the highway between LCA and then Ford Field and Comerica Park. So it's tough. I still think it's a good thing that the Pistons are playing at LCA. In a perfect world, they would have joined on to the project with the Red Wings way sooner. Like, they would have been planning that for 4 or 5 years the way that the Red Wings were. Then this place might be able to show a little bit more of an even distribution of Pistons and Red Wings stuff. But we can't go back in time, so We have what we have, and I still think it's great that the Pistons are playing at LCA. And I do think it is a wonderful arena. I got a pin at this game. I got the classic home jersey pin, although these days in the NBA, they barely wear white at home. I don't even know if I should call it the home jersey anymore, but the classic home jersey, I got that pin. I actually have 2 iterations of the logo pin. I got this one a few years back, and then I got one with the old Pistons logo from when I was a kid. I got that one back when they were at the Palace. So that was an older pin in my collection. Just want to say thank you so much to my high school basketball coach, Coach Smith. Coach Smith helped make this game happen for me. He actually works for the Detroit Pistons, so he's at every home game. I appreciate him so much for this, for helping make this happen. Any help that I can get in going to these games is amazing, and so Coach Smith, if you're watching this, thank you so much. It is greatly appreciated. All 4 Detroit venues are going to be up on the channel now. Please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I would really appreciate that. This wraps up a 4-game trip. I did not touch base at home between seeing a hockey game in Fort Wayne, a basketball game in Bloomington, a hockey game in Indy, and then a basketball game in my hometown metro of Detroit. 4 games in 2 days. What a trip. Pretty tiring, but a lot of fun. I got to rest up quickly because there's always more places to go, and I'm very much excited to share some of those places with you. Thank you so much for watching. I am the Traveling Sports Nerd, and I will see you next time.